this time, we welcome Minnesota State, the #1 seed in the East Region. They will play Providence on Saturday at 1 o'clock. The game will be televised on ESPN News. We're joined now by Minnesota State student athletes Dryden McKay, Nicholas Rivera, and Mark Michaelis. And we'll open up with questions for the student athletes. Please make sure you identify yourself and your media organization when asking a question. So questions for the student athletes. Have it right up in front.
Shane Frederick from the Mankato Free Press. Mark, having been through this last year, and not a lot of guys on last year's team had been through it before, there were a few. What's this experience been like so far, and how can you learn from last year and take that going forward?
Yes, it's been a really good experience for us. Obviously, last year didn't played out as we wanted to, but I think it was kind of a chip on the shoulder this entire year. Since we got together, the guys did a really good job buying in from the start, and obviously going through playoffs and being fortunate enough to win a championship, the group comes closer together. So I'm pretty fortunate enough to be here right now.
More questions for these student athletes? Right up in here.
Chris Blay, College Hockey News. Dryden, what has it been like for you stepping into this goaltending role for this league, going from being a young kid stepping into it for the first time all the way up to now being a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament?
It's definitely been a fun ride. I got lucky. I got a great situation coming in with 3 new goalies and a chance to play right away. That's something not a lot of freshmen in the country get a chance to do. And I just tried to, when I got my opportunity, I tried to just make the best of it. And obviously, I knew we had a really good team coming in, so I just tried to do my job. And it seemed like throughout the year, whenever we needed big goals or big guys to step up, it's happened. And here we are as a #1 seed in a regional.
More questions? Okay, right up in front again.
Shane Frederick, Mankato Free Press. Nick, similar question to Mark. If you can talk about just having that experience of last year to come in, and does that give you guys a different feeling about being at a regional and being at an NCAA tournament? Were you a little wide-eyed last year compared to this year?
Yeah, I mean, coming into a tournament like this, you want experience, and we're fortunate enough our leadership group and a couple other guys that step in with our leadership group have the knowledge and they know what to do here. And unfortunately, like last year, we didn't get our way, and we're excited to put our best foot forward here.
We got a question in the back for the student athletes.
Ian Steele, ABC6 in Providence. Question for Mark. What's your thoughts and the team's thoughts generally about playing Providence in Providence?
It's going to be a great test for us. I think we managed throughout the whole year. I think we've been a pretty good team on the road. Places like Bowling Green, Michigan Tech, or places it's really hard to play in, and that's what we expect tomorrow afternoon. So we're really excited for tomorrow, and we'll see. Try to play our game like we did the whole year. It's just another game for us. Obviously, it's a great experience. It's going to be a great experience. It's going to be a bigger game, but just got to take the same approach that we did the whole year.
Okay, we're now joined by Minnesota State head coach Mike Hastings. And Coach, would you begin with an opening statement?
Yeah. First of all, it's really important for us to be playing hockey at this time of the year. We're excited about it. We're trying to continue to move our program forward. This group of young men have done a great job from the last time we had this opportunity up till today. They've done a really good job at just paying attention to detail and enjoying the journey that they've all been on. Did a great job, as you can see with Dryden, at putting their arms around our new players, our freshmen. And when we're a different team from last year. And so we're excited about the opportunity to be in Providence. The travel was fantastic. Our accommodations are great. We're looking forward to this chance.
Okay, we'll now open it up to questions for Coach Hastings. Got a question right here.
Joe Maloney, College Hockey News. Beginning of the year, there seemed like there was a platoon, if not in that, with Dryden and Matthias. Was there a point where Dryden kind of became the guy, or was it just kind of over some time? You know, it looked like, you know, it was his job.
That's a good question. We've you know, when you broom and have a completely new group of goaltenders, the book of business on those guys as far as a coaching staff isn't real deep. And when Matthias Israelson came in, you could already see a guy that had played college hockey, had a maturation level preparation, whether it was before or after a game, and whether he was playing or he wasn't. And so we leaned on that early a little bit, that experience. And I thought Dryden learned quite a bit in those spots as far as preparation and just going up another level from junior hockey to college hockey. And when he had his opportunity, he really didn't give the ball back. The last time, I think, other than right at the end of the year, the last opportunity that Matthias had was in Bowling Green. And from that point on, Dryden stepped up and didn't really give us an opportunity to plug somebody else between the posts because of his play. And once you get to the second half, the idea is and again, we don't play 80 games. We only play a small amount of contests, and every one of them has a value to try and get to this point at the NCAA tournament. And I'd say once Dryden took that opportunity, he ran with it and has been doing it ever since.
More questions for Coach Hastings? We'll go to Mark here first.
Mark Diver, Providence Journal. Mike, I believe you saw Providence live at UMass a few months back. Obviously, you watched them on tape. What do you see from them? And do you think this game's a race to 3?
We've talked about that exactly amongst our staff, not so much about our guys, but amongst our staff. What do I think of? I think they're good. Their top two lines are good on both ends of the rink, but they've produced consistently, whether it's been 5-on-5 or on the power play. They've got two very dynamic defensemen in Bryson and Young that have put together plus 40 points. And they're two guys that like playing the game with the puck on their stick, and they're good at finding other people. And then you look from top to bottom, their depth, I think, it comes off the paper, and they're big, they're heavy. I'm going to tell you, I think they look a little bit like us, except I think they're a little bigger. And so from that standpoint, I've got a lot of respect for what they've done this year. They were able to get a little bit of time off. And if you talk to a lot of people that have been in the position as far as the NCAA tournament over time, some of them have said that's a blessing, not a curse. And so we'll have our hands full. And then the last guy you talk about is probably the most important, and that's their goaltender. And he's been around the block. He's been in some very big games for this team. And so we've got a tough challenge, but at this time we've learned it doesn't matter where you're at or who you're playing. You're playing against a very good hockey team, and we're facing that here at Providence.
More questions? Right up in front.
Shane Frederick, the Mankato Free Press. Mike, with so many players last year who had really no NCAA experience coming in, do you approach things any differently as a team this year because you have so many guys with that experience of last year, not necessarily just the game, but just the overall experience, and have you approached that differently going in today?
I wouldn't say we've approached it much differently. It's amazing when you have solid leadership, how much they step up and kind of take the reins. And that's what this group has done, whether it's Nick or Mark or Max Cota, who's been around the block with us a bit. Those guys have really, they haven't needed to be poked or prodded in the idea of, hey, you need to step up in this situation or that situation. I think they've got a great command of our locker room. I think the guys that are behind them believe in them. And so we've utilized the experience of what happened last year. I think anytime you want to really get to the top of the mountain, you've got to taste a little bit of adversity, and we've definitely done that in years previous and this year. And so we've tried to utilize that experience to motivate us and keep us focused on what makes us good. And the guys have done a good job this year at focusing on today, not what happened yesterday, not what's going to happen tomorrow. They've stayed pretty present, and it's served this group well.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.